Did you know that in some Balkan villages, if a cat crosses your path while you're carrying bread, you must turn around and take a different route? It's not just bad luck. It's believed the cat carries unseen shadows that can taint the blessing of the bread. Bread is sacred here. More than food, it is life, family, even spirit. In the highlands of Montenegro, when a storm approaches, old men murmur to the fire. They do not fear the rain, but what rides behind it, winds that carry the whispers of the dead. In these regions, thunder is not a sound, it's a warning. Balkan folklore is not gentle. It is fierce, earthy, whispered. It lives in the cracks of the mountains, in the winds that blow across black fields, in the hollowed-out eyes of saints painted on flaking monastery walls. In rural parts of Serbia, there is a tradition called zapis, sacred trees marked with crosses where no axe is allowed to strike. It is said that cutting a zapis brings misfortune for 7 generations. Travelers stop to touch the tree, to leave a coin, or to whisper a prayer for safe passage. Have you heard of the night hag of Bulgaria? She comes when people sleep on their back, her weight crushing their chest. But this isn't just sleep paralysis. People claim to wake up with scratches, bruises, or even burned skin. One family in the Rodopi Mountains leaves out a small bowl of milk every Thursday night, their way of keeping her appeased. In old Romanian villages, spinning wool is not just a task, it's a rite. If the thread breaks too often, it's taken as a sign that someone in the household is hiding a sin. The weaver stops, prays, then begins again with a new spool. Even today, some believe that every thread carries a soul's story. Did you know that in some Albanian highlands, people used to bury knives under the doorstep to guard against curses? The blade must face outward. If turned inward by accident, the protection fails, and misfortune is invited inside. Some families even buried animal bones around their house, not for decoration, but to trap spirits in confusion. Weddings in the Balkans are not only celebrations, they are battles against envy. In certain parts of Macedonia, the bride must wear a coin in her shoe and walk in silence to the church. If she speaks, even once, before the ceremony ends, the marriage will be cursed. Elder women stand guard to ensure no trickster, human or spirit, interferes. In Bosnia, it's said that a well is a mouth. You must never throw salt into it. The well listens, the well remembers, and if you insult it, it may stop giving water. There are tales of entire wells that dried up after someone cursed near them. On the slopes of Mount Olympus, the part that leans into Balkan air, there are tales of wind spirits that snatch children, not forever, just for a moment. Parents leave ash at the doorstep to see if the child's shadow has returned. The child is still not fully here. In some villages near the Black Sea, fishermen used to offer bread soaked in wine to the water before every departure. It wasn't religion, it was respect. They believed the sea had moods, and wine calmed her. There is a ritual in some parts of Bulgaria. Before a child learns to walk, a spoon is thrown across the floor. If the child walks to the spoon, they will be wise. If they crawl past it, they will be wild. The ritual is called pregavin, a simple game, but taken very seriously by the elders. In parts of Croatia, during the days between Christmas and Epiphany, people speak in whispers after dark. It's believed the veil between worlds is thinnest during these nights, and loud voices may attract attention from beings not of this world. Children are told to speak only when spoken to, and to never, ever whistle. Did you know that in ancient Balkan calendars, the year used to begin not in January, but in March? Spring marked life, and December was death. The dead year ends with stillness. The living begins with wind, mud, and the return of birds. In Kosovo, when someone is sick for many weeks without explanation, it is sometimes said they have been touched by a wind. Not a physical illness, but a spiritual one. The cure involves tying 7 red threads around their wrist and bathing them in water left under the stars. In old Slavic Balkan beliefs, the forest is not empty. There's a reason people greet the forest before entering, with a small nod or by touching the ground. In parts of northern Romania, it is still common to leave a piece of bread at the edge of a path before gathering wood. There are stories of villages in southern Serbia where every child's name includes a consonant the devil is said to dislike, a linguistic barrier against possession. In the Balkans, the line between Christianity and paganism is blurred. You'll find icons painted over older symbols, saints replacing forest spirits, holy days layered on top of lunar festivals. But in some corners, the older magic still flickers. In gestures, in lullabies, in the silence before a thunderstorm. When someone dies unexpectedly in parts of Bulgaria or Romania, families will break a plate, spill wine on the ground, and scatter salt in corners. Not to mourn, but to confuse the death, to make it forget where it came from. Death, after all, is not always blind. Sometimes it follows footprints. In villages near the Danube, every newborn is given a drop of river water on the tongue. For strength, for protection, for memory, the Danube is not just a river here. It is an ancestor. And in the Balkans, ancestors are never truly gone. They are in the hills, in the wood smoke, in the songs that grandmothers hum. When the lights are low, you might not see them, but they are watching, waiting. So if you find yourself wandering these lands, don't step in wild circles of flattened grass. Don't whistle after sundown. Don't laugh at the old woman muttering to her broom. Because here in the Balkans, stories are not stories. They are warnings. They are maps. They are alive. Text continues with thousands of additional words, expanding into death rituals, spirit, appeasement, practices, graveyard omens, animal-based superstitions, harvest gods, blood memory, legends, storm myths, child protection rituals, ancient Balkan lunar calendars,